The Secretary of State praised Donald Trump's record on foreign affairs as former president remains frontrunner for Republican presidential nomination in 2024 election. Ahead of the Conservative Party conference starting in Manchester on Sunday, James Cleverly said Mr. Trump's particular style of rhetoric while he was in the White House from 2017 to 2021 was surprisingly effective. In an interview with the House magazine, Mr. Cleverly, who served as Secretary of State just over a year, was asked whether a Trump victory in next year's presidential election would be good for international efforts Ukraine and was initially reserved US it is mature democracy. It would not be right for me to comment on who they chose as national leader. Latest policy: Labour will stick to Tory spending plans Sunday morning with Trevor Phillips every week Sunday morning at 8:30 a.m. Watch live on Sky Channel 501. Freeview 233. Virgin 602. The Sky News website and app or YouTube. Tap here for more. The foreign minister was then asked what he thought of Mr. Trump's claim that an agreement between Presidents Volodymyr Zelensky and Vladimir Putin could be reached within 24 hours. Mr. Cleverly, who had never met the former president, reportedly chuckled at the question, replied, "I'm aware that Donald Trump has a particular style of rhetoric and that H has done some very surprising positive things about Trump during his time as president." To international relations Secretary of State James Cleverly, he cited the Abraham Accords, an agreement that established diplomatic relations between Israel and a number of Arab countries for the first time, as an example of where Trump has succeeded. We have to admit that sometimes his particular style can be surprisingly effective, he said. Of course, there were other times when Mr. Trump was less successful, such as failure to make progress in peace negotiations on Peninsula. Despite being first U.S. president to meet a North Korean leader and first U.S. president set foot on foot since war. Asked whether Mr. Trump would secure a deal that ensured respect for Ukraine's territorial integrity and sovereignty, strengthened the United Nations Charter and saw Russia make amends for what it had inflicted on Ukraine, Mr. Cleverly said, if a deal can be made within 24 hours, how could anyone not want that to happen? But he added, from a UK perspective, we will stick to what we have seen to be effective, which is not a quick or easy outcome. For a more accessible video player, please use the Chrome browser. 039 Donald Trump says he has no plans to go to jail on election interference charges. Elsewhere in interview, Foreign Minister also addressed Canada's accusation that agents of Indian government were responsible for killing of Sikh separatist campaigner Hardeep Singh Nijjar on Canadian soil. The UK is in middle of negotiating a trade deal with India, promised by Diwali last year. But despite Prime Minister Rishi Sunak meeting Indian Pre.